Pete McKeown of InXpress.
Yes, we're delighted to have Pete McKeown with InXpress. It is my understanding that your company is one of DHL's largest shipping partners. Pete, is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. DHL just doesn't partner with anybody, so we've been very fortunate. We nurture that relationship. We respect it. We are their only global partner, as a matter of fact.
Great. Well, before we start with your company, tell me a little about yourself. So, and then you might want to say where that accent's coming from.
You got the accent, Jeff. No, born and raised in New Zealand, actually. Yeah, back when there was money in farming. So we have 1,000 acres back there, about 5,000 sheep when there used to be money in it. And just like everything else, farming has changed a lot. And probably right out of high school, college, I decided to take a look around, which is what a lot of New Zealanders and Australians do. It's a long way away from every other country, so didn't mean not to go back, but I've been here for 35 years. And
you've been here 35 years.
I know it. Yeah.
Let me compliment you with that accent there. You still kept it going. Usually by then, some people start to lose their accent.
It can, yes.
Yeah. So tell me a little about your company.
So InXpress is a global franchise. We're in 14 different countries right now. I think our goal is to hit 500 franchises in the next 3 years. I think we have 300 globally right now. Partnering with DHL again, we've got good coverage, 220 different countries. But InXpress, I own the Colorado franchise right here. It's a real, what we call the feet in the face of small businesses, small to medium size. So I'm more of a consultant and go to companies that do some kind of global shipping, whether it's e-commerce or huge manufacturing, and we show them the do's and the don'ts and make their life a lot easier.
So what is the specialty service of your company that you offer?
I would say InXpress offers the customer service. It's such a cliche when you hear that, customer service. It's a lot more than just answering telephones. But as you know now, global shipping has changed a lot since 9/11. It is no longer an extension of domestic shipping. So we specialize in international, from documents all the way up to dinosaurs. We'll bring in containers. We'll ship out containers. And along the way, as you're crossing these borders, you're going to run into agencies like U.S. Customs, FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, the DEA, and we'll help companies and even individuals clear that paperwork. We brought in a encapsulating machine from overseas for making vitamins. We've all taken vitamins, and the U.S. Customs wanted to look at that machine to see if it was not harmful or going to hurt anybody or the country. Then the FDA wanted to take a look at it because it's producing a consumable product. And then the DEA wanted to take a look at it just to make sure that we were actually putting vitamin supplements inside those capsules.
So there's a lot of regulations you have to deal with. There's
Yep.
a lot of different organizations that have to kind of buy it. Is there any, I mean, there probably is. How about some horror story you could share with us with somebody that maybe didn't use you or
Yep.
you came to the rescue or something like that?
Right. So, I think the international shipping's making the world a lot smaller. So now you can buy abroad, overseas. You can get a good deal. We had a customer that brought in a 40-foot container of sunglasses. Got a really good deal on them. You'll see them in the local 7-Elevens and such. And he got charged $1,700 for shipping, and he thought he just made it big.
So he thought he had a deal.
He did actually have a good deal, but the $1,700 got the container to the waters of the U.S., but not on the land, and that's where we come in. When he found out, he was in a lot of trouble. First of all, the container had left the foreign country without filing the ISF filing. That's a $10,000 fine. So it started going downhill pretty quick. And then, of course, he called us, and we had to get it on U.S. soil. We had to get it through customs clearance. And then there was a what we call a drop ball test, which I've never heard of that. The FDA wants to know, because these glasses do touch your body, the FDA will scrutinize them.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought
they want to know.
the case.
Yeah, they want to know what they're made of. Are they going to shatter? Are they going to hurt people? So this drop ball test come up, and the FDA asked us for the paperwork, and of course, I didn't have it. They didn't have it. So I was the middleman and asked the manufacturer to produce it. It took a little longer than it should have to produce. And when it was produced, it didn't look very legitimate, should we say. And, of course, that paperwork was refused, so there was no drop ball test. And it took, well, to shorten the story down, about $81,000 later, he had two choices. He could send the container back to where it come from, or he could pay another $2,500 and let the FDA destroy it for him.
Wow.
And if we had picked it up from door to door, we would have had all that in line, and he would be selling the sunglasses today.
So that's what you do. You get it from door to door is really what you guarantee.
Right.
Okay. Yep. So what kind of reach globally do you have?
Well, thanks to DHL's coverage, 44% of the globe, and that's twice as much as the two largest carriers, competitors, combined. So that's 220 countries. So quite often some of the other carriers will use our DHL moped, bike, donkey, whatever it is, in those last legs of the trip to deliver it because they just don't have the coverage to get it to that door that we talk about.
Right. That's huge. So let me talk. Let's throw out New Zealand. New Zealand. You might be familiar with that country, right?
A little bit, yeah.
How long would it take to get a shipment from here to delivered to New Zealand?
So that's kind of our specialty. We have, I say we have one speed, fast and faster, and then people would say, well, is that expensive? Well, through InXpress it is not, and that's one of our claims to fame. But we can have it in New Zealand in 3 days, 5 days tops, and that includes customs clearance, and that is back to that door-to-door delivery.
Okay. What kind of things do you ship? I mean, what have you done in the past?
It's funny. It's not really up to us. It's the businesses that we reach out to in the U.S., and it's anywhere from DHL shipped eyeballs, kidneys.
Wow.
And that's what they call the same day service. So, you know, if you're having a kidney shipped from overseas, you want it to get pretty quick. Quick.
I imagine.
Klondike and Snow, you may have heard of those. We ship them. Of course, military tanks. DHL's largest customers, the Department of Defense. So,
right.
But then all the way down to the e-cig market, all the paraphernalia that comes along with the Colorado legal marijuana sales. So those are all restricted. Some of them are restricted. They're not prohibited. You can move those across borders quite legally if you know what you're doing.
Okay. Well, let's see. You're a third-party provider, basically, right?
Yep.
So isn't it more expensive to go through InXpress or rather than go direct to the carrier?
So that's the age-old question, and I love answering that because a lot of customers will want to go direct to the carrier. Well, the first thing the carrier is going to ask is, what kind of volume do you have? And most customers don't have that much volume, so that would be what their discount is based on. We spend about $1 million a week with DHL, so we have the volume. We'll bring on a small, medium-sized customer and give them the rates as if they were shipping 10, 20, 30 packages a day.
Oh, so that's the difference. You really have the leverage to be able to give them a good deal.
Yep. Plus the local customer service, so they actually save a lot of money.
Great. Well, for our audience, how can they engage your services? How can they reach you?
Well, everybody wants to know the cost. So get a quote. Go to InXpressDenver.com. You can get a quote. You can contact us through there, and that's going to be the first step. What is it going to cost me to ship a set of skis or a luggage to Switzerland? And start with the price. And the service is second to none. It's world class.
So you'll do small to large. I mean, there's no limit.
Documents, pallets, containers, all of it.
Great.
And when you say InXpressDenver.com, it's INXPRESS.
That's
so
correct.
You don't have the express like the word express.
Right, take the E out. Right.
InXpress. It's cute.
Yeah.
That'll help you remember it.
I own both domains though, just in case.
So will it just shift you to the right one? That's good to know.
Yeah.
And also with Global Chamber, they can, if they ever forget your company, they can reach us and we'll be able to connect them with you.
Absolutely.
And then just one last question real quick. We're running out of time. Rugby. Tell me a little about rugby. I think you have a little interest in rugby, don't you?
New Zealand's best in the world, a little bit proud, So if the Australians could ever learn how to play rugby, they could give us a fair run, but they can't.
But they can't. Thank you so much, Peter McKeown, InXpress. Stay with us with more with Jeffrey Campos. We will be back with more Connecting Collaboration.